안녕하세요. 大家好,我来自韩国. Hello everyone, I'm from Korea. I have studied Mandarin since the fall of 2022, so it has been roughly 3 years to study Chinese. When I was in the 6th grade, I was very interested in the romance of the Three Kingdoms. I think this was my first contact with Chinese culture. After then, I took Chinese class for my second foreign language class during high school, but it was meaningless. Almost every student was not paying attention to the class, so the class environment was not good enough to learn something from the class. Still, I learned some greeting expressions like hello, 你好, nice to meet you, 很高兴认识你, I am Korean, 我是韩国人, good morning, 早上好, good evening, 晚上好. But I could not learn more than that, which means that my Chinese level was below basic at that time. After I graduated high school, I made Chinese roommate in college, and it was a meaningful time to understand more about Chinese people and Chinese culture. And in the fall of 2022, I decided to study Chinese to understand more about China. In 2022 and 2023, I did not take standardized tests like HSK. I just concentrated on improving my basic Chinese skill using apps to call with native speakers, using Duolingo, and listening to some Chinese songs on YouTube. In 2024, I tried to take HSK level 5. I did not try level 1 to level 4 because in Korea, you need to have at least level 5 in order to be acknowledged by others that your Chinese level is at a certain level. So in July, I took HSK level 5, but unfortunately I failed. It was an anticipated result because my Chinese level was not good enough at the time, so I had to memorize the vocabulary of level 4, although the test that I take is level 5. So I plan to take it again in November 2024. I bought a HSK level 5 book, solving practice problems and memorizing vocabularies. However, my result was lower than I expected. I failed again, which means my score was lower than 180. I was very depressed and disappointed. I felt God abandoned me and my life was ruined. A few days later, I was able to figure out that the graduate school that I'm attending is offering video lectures of foreign languages for free, and HSK 5 and 6 were included in the video lecture. Moreover, the textbook that the video lecturer uses was the same textbook that I had. What a lucky situation. So I kept watching the lectures. In order to enhance my grammar, I watched HSK 4 reading lecture, which offers basic grammar lectures, and then watched level 5 lectures. Of course, watching lectures was not the only part of my study. I also kept talking with native speakers in the language exchange app, both calling and texting. I also spent some time studying alone, like solving practice problems and memorizing words. Finally, I took the HSK 5 in January 2025 and passed it with getting 211. I finally made it in my third try. And I took HSK6 in August 2025 and passed it with 189. It took 3 times for me to pass HSK5, but I passed HSK6 once only. Well, I'm planning to retake HSK6 to get a higher score, but I'm very happy to be able to pass it once. So there are a few tips for you to study Chinese. First, always have a never give up spirit. When I failed my HSK 5 in my second try, I was very depressed. But I could remember the founding father, Sonia's son. He failed the revolution 10 times, but he never gave up and finally succeeded the Xinhai revolution, destroying the Qing dynasty and establishing Republic of China. Just like the founding father, I decided not to give up, and this spirit made me who passed HSK 6. Second, memorize words. Regardless of what languages you study, the most important part is words. Chinese characters contain meanings, so if you understand some radicals of characters, you can easily memorize words. Third, talk with native speakers. I recommend you to download a language exchange app called HelloTalk. Of course, this app has fatal drawbacks. This app is too sensitive and censors you with even small things, so you need to be careful with your expressions. Also, the majority of people using HelloTalk are ghosting and ignoring messages, which makes you very frustrated and stressful. However, you will still be able to meet a few nice friends and you can keep talking with them. I can guarantee that participating in voice room or having a phone call with native speakers is very helpful for improving your listening skill. Also, texting with native speakers definitely helps you to improve your writing and reading skills. That is how I was able to raise my listening, reading, and writing skills. Fourth, download listening files and repeat. I downloaded HSK listening files and listened to it whenever I went outside. Also, I sometimes read script while listening files and repeated the script sentence by sentence. It definitely increases not only listening skills, but also speaking skills. So I recommended this method. So these are my studying history and tips for studying Chinese. Thank you for listening, everyone, and I hope you have wonderful days. 再见。